Hi everyone, my name is Elijah Tunkara. I'm here today to talk to you about muscular dystrophy. There is more to it than what is commonly known. What do people typically know about this disease? Well, they usually talk about how people are not able to move who has muscular dystrophy. They're stuck in wheelchairs. They can't move their limbs as much. They might have breathing problems. But there's more to it than just that. And I'm here to talk to you more about it. What is muscular dystrophy? Well, let's break it down. Muscular, which pertains to the muscle of your body, limbs, arms, different types, chest, everything, all the muscles in your body, even the heart. Dys, which is bad, and troph is nourish. So when you put it all together, it is bad nourishment of the muscles. It is a group of hereditary diseases in which there is a weakening and atrophy to the muscle fibers, and they become more susceptible to damage. This disease makes it hard for those individuals to move limbs and perform other physical activities of daily living. So they have trouble moving around. They going to need assistance to move, or they're more than likely to struggle trying to move to get to places and do whatever they have to do. As you can see, the muscle on the right is muscular dystrophy. Since it is poorly nourished, the muscle becomes degenerative. Compare that to the muscle on the left, which is the normal biceps muscle. You see that one is a lot bigger and bulkier compared to the muscular dystrophy biceps muscle on the right. When the muscle looks like that, you can know that that person doesn't have much strength to lift their arms, let alone an object. It'll be hard for them to work out or lift a chair, pick something up, and all types of things that people usually do in their household. There are over 40 different types of muscular dystrophy. There are many types of muscular dystrophy that can affect different parts of the body with variations on how severe it is. I'm going to go over the main types of muscular dystrophy since this is a short video. What can cause muscular dystrophy? Most muscular dystrophy occurs because of the disease of genetic mutations. For hereditary genetic mutation, the mom is the one who transmits this disease to her son, which typically boys carry one X and one Y chromosome, because the mother is a carrier of the defective X chromosome. It is the most common in boys because boys have one X and one Y chromosome. Since they have only one copy of that X chromosome in a muscle, if it is defective, it will cause muscular dystrophy because it is the only one present in the muscle cells. It is rare for females who carries two X chromosomes to get this disease because both of the females' X chromosomes has to be defective. Females typically carry these defects chromosomes, which can cause Duchenne and Becker's muscular dystrophy because of genetic mutations, dystrophinopathies. Some muscular dystrophies aren't inherited at all, but occurs because of genetic mutations of other genes that occurs from proteins that complex the dystrophin protein, which is a gene on the X chromosome. I will talk about this one later. Basically, the last part, these two diseases are Steinhart's disease and Limb-Girdle disease. But let's move on. Duchenne muscular dystrophy. DMD is the most common of the muscular dystrophy in children. This disease only affects males around age 2 to 6. This is a progressive disease that requires the child to use a wheelchair by age 12. This disease usually affects the arms, legs, and spine of the person. People with this disease usually die in their 20s. The movie Darius Goes West, it shows a young man going through Duchenne muscular disease as he goes through life, overcoming barriers. This movie is a great movie and is a great example of Duchenne muscular disease. It shows Darius Weems and his brother Mario at a young age, and Basically, his brother Mario died before him at the age of 19 because of Duchenne muscular dystrophy. But Darius, he lives at least until the age of 27. But before that, he made this movie and showed him going across the country, moving around in a wheelchair, which exhibit even pimped out for him, and to better have accessibility to places such as the beach and all types of different restaurants, everything. Even though most of the restaurants are ADA recommended, but it's a pretty good movie. I'll advise you to check that out. Becker disease. This is similar to Duchenne, but progresses slowly. This disease can appear as late as 25, but only affects males. Those with Becker can live longer and perform movements such as walking into their 30s. So since this disease is less progressive and compared to Duchenne, people are able to move around a lot better in the early ages when they are diagnosed. It can be treated, but it can't be cured, along with all the other muscular dystrophies. Having early treatment can help you out to help you to better walk and continue walking and prevent the use of wheelchairs for as long as possible in their late 30s. Signs and symptoms of Duchenne and Becker. Signs: if they have to use their arms to pick themselves up sitting down. Basically, if they're sitting down in a chair and they can't use their legs to pick themselves up, they have to use their arms to put on an armchair to propel themselves up, then that's a sign. Also, they're sitting down on their stomachs, laying down watching TV, and you see them struggling to get themselves up using their legs. They have to use their arms and kind of catwalk back to their body and then use the rest of their arms to put themselves up, and that's also a sign. If when walking, they waddle, swaying back and forth as if they have no control, that shows signs of weakness in the muscles. The symptoms: they have to use a wheelchair to move around. They can't walk. After a while, just waddling around. If the disease gets progressive, they have to use a wheelchair because they can't move their muscles that much because it's become degenerative. If they have breathing problems, if they have arrhythmias, the heart muscle is degenerative and has irregular heartbeats, and also scoliosis. Now this comes the part where I mentioned earlier where this disease is not hereditary, but it's gene mutation is the reason why you get these types of diseases. So Steinhardt's disease is the common disease among adults and affects both men and women. This disease occurs in earlier childhood to adulthood. It causes weaknesses in the face, hands, or legs. Also affects the eyes, heart, GI tract, and central nervous system. This disease can get progressively worse over time, especially in the cold. The limb girdle disease. This is a progressive weakness that begins in the hips and then spreads to the arms, legs, and shoulders. This appears in teens to early adulthood and affects both genders. After being diagnosed, it can take up to 20 years for the weakness of the muscles keeps people diagnosed with limb girdle muscular dystrophy from walking. These people typically live middle age to late adulthood. So limb girdle disease, out of all the diseases I stated so far, is the less progressive. You can live a very long time without being susceptible to the degenerative muscles as bad as the other ones, which require you to use a wheelchair. So, signs and symptoms of Steinhardt and limb girdles. Signs: muscle locks in place. There's balding. Face looks thinner. Weight shift left to right while walking. Symptoms: respiratory muscle weakness, muscle pain, abnormal heart. What people can get mixed up. People think ALS, amyotrophic lateral scoliosis, or rather Lou Gehrig disease, is the same thing as muscle dystrophy. ALS is a disease that attacks the nervous system cells of the brain and spinal cord. The neurons are damaged because of this and prevents efferent signals. Muscular dystrophy attacks the muscles directly, causing it to become weak and deter. So ALS is way different. If the signals can't get to the muscles, that means you won't be able to move your muscles, and we all know what happens to your body if you don't use it. It starts to break down. Our bodies are not like machines. Once it starts to break down, it becomes weaker, and your body uses those cells for other parts, such as proteins. It uses proteins for other parts of your body that's more important because you're not using your muscles. And that's the difference between that and muscular dystrophy. Treatment, but can be cured. There is no great treatment for Duchenne and Becker. There is glucocorticoids that slow degeneration of muscles. Physical therapy can help treat the people, help them slow down the degeneration of the muscle and help them be able to move better. Steinharts can be treated with physical and occupational therapy. Medication for arrhythmias, braces to protect limb movement, wheelchair to help you move around and get access to places that you couldn't do before because you couldn't walk. Who is affected? One in every 3,500 to 6,000 male births each year in the United States. Sometimes some have some types of muscular dystrophy. This disease affects all races. I couldn't find a great data on how many females are affected by this, because it's rare that females are affected by it with certain types of Duchenne. Certain types of muscular dystrophies, but they are. I just couldn't find a very good one to use. Prevention. Since it is a genetic disorder, it cannot be prevented. Genetic screening is helpful to get early treatment. If the parent knows, get genetic screening to know if they had this disease or not, they might want to think twice about having kids, because for the fear of them growing up and having to deal with this disease. It's a very touchy subject for them to go through this, and you can go through like prenatal medications to help you prevent the chance of having kids grow up with this disease. This is basically the citations where I got all my information from. It's very good stuff right here, and it's very useful to help me to get the information I needed. And that's it. Muscular dystrophy is a disease that can be cured. It progresses. It can progress fast or slow, depending on which one you have, and it's very difficult to treat. I personally don't know anyone that has this disease, but like I said, the movie Darius Goes West gave me a good representation of what it is to have one of the muscular dystrophy disease, and it's something that can be stopped or be treated better if people were more aware about the situation. And that's all for my video. Thank you for watching it, and let me know what you think.